isn't right. I'm sick of playing nice. I just don't get what makes you special.
Hello, we are back. 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks. Your boy's been just busy doing things. I was at a bachelor party, so that's why I was out. And then I think last week was just logisticals. But we are back, better than ever.
You guys have to tell this man that he doesn't need to be at every event every single weekend.
We out here.
I'm trying to get him to practice mindfulness and sitting in silence and just enjoying the week, gathering chi, gathering strength.
I gather she and Shy through going to events. So anyway, I'm a little tired. I'm gonna put that out there, but we have to give a disclaimer like always. So essentially, these are our opinions that we hold. We don't want to offend anyone, but we have like a very crass way of getting it out sometimes. So these are really off the cuff thoughts. We do have a script, but we don't have scripted responses. So like, just take everything we say with like, if I were to think about it, maybe we would say it differently. That's all. That's our disclaimer out here. So please do not get triggered. And if you do, and it's honestly a valid point or concern, I really don't give a fuck. But like,
let them get triggered.
Yeah, not like triggered, but like just realize like don't take what we say out of proportion. That's all. That's the disclaimer. That's what I'm saying.
No.
Yeah.
You need to work on yourself.
Yeah. That essentially.
If you get triggered.
Yeah.
You need to psychoanalyze yourself and ask yourself,
or what made you?
Why am I getting triggered?
Yeah. But anyway, let's move on. So we're gonna talk about big things. I've been wanting to do this episode for a while. We're gonna talk about my sort of bread and butter. Like,
you're really excited today.
Yeah, I'm very excited. Oh, I'm bad. I didn't introduce yourself. Felipe and
Jwalk.
Boom. Yeah, I'm really excited about this episode today. We can talk about econ. Sort of the economical setup of the United States and LA specifically, and we're talking about transportation and how those two things are inherently the same thing, and you don't realize this because you've been programmed through the U.S. to not think of it separately.
They've been programmed by the Matrix.
Yeah, yes, which is called U.S. media, but yes,
pretty much is the Matrix.
And the you're right, the Matrix, because it's movies. Songs, everything, clothes, books,
fashion,
everything,
your TikTok trends,
everything. You have been
programmed every second of every day, and you guys just keep feeding into the machine.
Yep.
But it's okay because
you're here.
You're here.
So anyway, so I'll start off. I'm gonna pass it off. I want to hear your take before I delve into it.
Okay.
Again, another disclaimer, not on our show, but just about this specific topic. We have thought about these things for a very long time in terms of like, just like every day I kind of think about this. So if we say things that really don't make sense, don't take it like personally or don't get frustrated. We will have a follow-up episode where we like work our way to the points we will say now. But like, I just want to say it in the raw now and not have to like hand walk y'all through.
I think you've thought about these things longer than I have.
Yeah, I know. So I think I like a good balance.
I like experience it, but you study it. So I think you're going to have a better critique about it than I do.
Yeah. Okay. Let me give you a title before you go off though. So we're talking about economics, how U.S. We're talking about car-centric and centered capitalism, and I'll just go off of that, and I want to hear what you think about it, especially, and just put it out there, everyone. We in Los Angeles, which is probably the heart or the mecca or the core of car-centered capitalism. So putting it out there. Take it away, Jwalk.
There's a movie that I watched last night called Nice Guys. Okay. You saw that movie with transportation? Yeah.
Literally.
Okay. I was thinking about you when I was watching this movie because I was like, all this corruption, this woman murders her own daughter behind the automobile industry in Detroit.
Yep.
I was like, I mean, it's a fictional movie, right?
I think so. No. I mean, I wouldn't put it past them. They ripped out. Oh, I'll talk about it later.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, I was gonna say, like, if those events transpired in real time, I wouldn't be shocked if that level of corruption was actually taking place. But just the way that the United States has really put oil and gasoline and cars at the helm of how our market and how our entire economy can really evolve really limits us to what we can do for these urban cities that continue to just sprawl. More people are moving there for opportunity. And, you know, I grew up in the South. Everyone was kind of, it's very much so, look at my truck. Like, trucks ran the South. Trucks, Porsches, BMWs. It's a very, very car heavy place. Then again, the geography and the landscape of the South is very, very spread out. So it's very, very easy to get around. You have to have a truck, or not a truck, but a car to get around. But it wasn't until I came to Los Angeles I realized, okay, in cities that are this dense and this large, there's no need for everyone to be having a car. Like, it's absolutely ridiculous that, what is it, 16 million people in Los Angeles County?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah,
16 million people do not need to be driving cars in a city.
Yeah.
Regardless on how attached to your car you feel, or if you're one of those guys that has 28-inch rims and takes the muffler off and you like to wag it down the street, bro, it's not 1999, bro.
Or 1950, better, yes.
It's 2023, D.
Let me rewind it. So yeah, I say we talk about economics. So I talked about this with the sort of oil, but I guess we're going to talk about transportation first. So we'll bring it back. Mm-hmm. So essentially, like, what this is saying is that, like, just full disclosure, I sold my car, don't have one currently. Not in terms of it's a bad thing. Like, I just don't see the need because I live in a place where I don't need it. Also, actually, I'm going to rewind it because that's my personal stuff. We don't really need it. So essentially what we're talking about here is that the U.S. as an economic system wants you to commit to this place, aka the U.S. So how it does it is it makes you indebted to yourself, to different entities that it, like, through law, you have to report to. So what I'm talking about here is car loans, house loans. Once you have a loan, you are rooted to this lifestyle. You are rooted to, like, how you can live your life and sort of the parameters of what you can do. Right. And the biggest one for me is in the house, because we live in 2023 and you can no longer buy a house in California unless you are just, like, loaded, or you're in just hundreds of $1,000s of debt. So it's really, the car is the entryway into getting people in debt and anchored into place, aka the United States. Yeah. So I don't know if you want to talk about that point, but that is what I want to say, a car-centered capitalism in terms of, like, it just, the system currently as it is requires you to have a vehicle to essentially live a life. There's actually studies on this, like, poor people, when they're given a car, who don't have a car, move up. They have, like, growth in terms of, like, levels of income because they have access to a car, aka access to opportunities. And, like, access to things is one of the most powerful sort of things out there, to be honest with you. Like, think about anything you do. Like, how do you get there? It's access. And in this country, to access things, you need to go into debt or pay large amounts of money to buy a car, which then you have to fill up with gas. And, like, I don't know, there's just so much stuff spirals from there. So I'm just gonna I'm gonna take a break.
No, I was gonna say, there's an influencer, Patrick David Betts just did. He just talked about this, how the average car in the United States is $20,000 now. Yep. $20,000. So we have the interest rates on homes now. For those of you who don't read, all right, 7.5%. Okay, 7.5% interest rates. We're at an all-time high, right? You factor that in with the fact that the average car is $20,000. This is why whenever you are building a society, or you're building a civilization or city or empire or country, whatever, you need to have checks and balances, right? I mean, America doesn't make anything anymore. We've pretty much outsourced most of our labor to Asia, to Europe, to Latin America. And this is, no, seriously, like, I'm
wrong. I'm not wrong. He's right. He's 100% right. 100%
I'm gonna, like, tie all this back into it, but, like, this is what happens because when we stop making things and everyone's just getting rich off of the backs of immigrants.
We're not immigrants anymore. Just random like kids in Indonesia or in Vietnam.
Yeah, just like random fucking people. Yeah. You have a society of, like, what would you say? Neo-capitalist?
It's neoliberal capitalism. That is the actual term for the capitalism that we promote,
The whole country can't be rich, y'all.
I mean, the inherent part of neoliberal capitalism is the whole country can't be rich.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Because when I think of wealthy countries, I think of the Swiss are the first people that come to mind, but their population is a lot smaller, a lot more dense.
And the Swiss are weird because they have all the banks. So
They have all the
I wouldn't really call
yeah.
them. It's like if you all know any people who work in finance, like they make good money because they handle the money. You know what I mean? And, like think about
I work in
it.
finance.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like it
Yeah.
ekes out. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You can't be working with millions of dollars and the people working on making you those millions of dollars are not getting paid. It just doesn't make sense. Like.
That's true.
Yeah, but anyway, I guess I'll expand that too. So what I mean by car-centric capitalism is that the U.S., if you think about other countries, so this is where it gets a little crazy, so stay with me here. So what we talk about the Matrix is that because the U.S., we fully adopted the car, and don't forget, cars really came out in 1910, so it's only really been like 120 years, so this is not really old thing. All you think about any movie, think about any song, think about even reading, how many times are people like behind the wheel, I'm driving, I'm this, I'm that, like just think, like, you probably hear it all the time. And like this sort of a propaganda, like a feedback loop. You're like, oh, I don't have a car. Like I can't relate to this. Like I guess I'm living a terrible lifestyle because I don't go behind the wheel and whip it. Like
I don't know what
taking my way down. Like that song, driving.
Yeah.
Like
I mean, if you think about it, we've created the past 70 years an entire culture surrounding cars. Like blast
literally Cars by Pixar.
Cars by oh my god,
they're people. Cars are people.
Cars are people. They're an extension of us.
Yeah.
Almost.
What do you drive? Oh, you drive a Beamer. I can see that. You know what I mean? Oh, you drive
but
a
also,
Honda? Okay.
But also to play devil's advocate, you do make a lot of memories inside of cars.
Again, but a car is a space, which is a place. And you can make memories in any place. It just so happens that you have been put in a car because of transportation. So that is how you associate things.
Well, you know, it's also true, like, to cut the American people some slack. Most people in the U.S. have never lived outside of the U.S.
That's true.
And they've never
seen other things.
Yeah, like they've never seen or participated in a society that wasn't centered around like automobiles.
Car-centric capitalism.
Yeah. So I mean, once you see, I used to think that he was like insane talking about all this car shit, but when I went to live in Copenhagen for almost a month, I saw how it was so easy to get around, and I kind of started to romanticize the train. Like I didn't think that it was possible
Trains
to
are
fall.
sexy,
Bro,
dog.
trains are so classy. Like I felt like
way
I was
more classy than cars, bro.
I felt like I was in a
cars are so ghetto.
a James Bond movie, just sitting on the train, chatting up the conductor. I got written up on the train ride up to Stockholm though, because I didn't have my ticket. And the guy had an attitude. He was like, you lied to me. You said you had your ticket. I was like, yeah, go fuck yourself, sweetie.
They're mad. They're the guy.
Bro. He wrote me a ticket, and I was like, "This is funny because I gave him like a false ID or whatever." So I was just laughing, and he was just heated the whole time, and it was like 2 a.m.
Yeah, they care.
I was like, bro, calm down, bro. Calm down.
Yeah, but I guess to tie it back to what I mean by exporting it is that like because through Hollywood, through our culture, American culture is like the car. You cannot separate the car from American culture currently.
Oh yeah, no, they're one and the same.
They're one and the same. So because we were the global superpower, and I said we were because look, China has already overtaken us. I'm sorry, y'all. If you got I'm sorry, they really have. If the writing's on the wall, if they haven't done it already, it'll be the next 5 years.
100%.
But essentially, like everyone wanted to be the U.S., so everyone wanted to have a car and drive nice cars. So everyone started building roads. And again, big thing, once you build a road, people will drive cars because you build a road. So now you have places like Nigeria, Cairo, with Mexico City with insane traffic because they wanted to recreate the U.S. model. And once you recreate the U.S. model by building roads, you are locked into car-centric capitalism. So the big thing, I want to bring another sort of thought process here. And this goes back to England. Shout out England. We can't shed our colonial past here in the U.S. I'm sorry, y'all. But essentially, the way of capitalism that we have taken and morphed into car-centric capitalism is sort of, I don't know what the actual term is, but I want to say Western expansion capitalism. I think that will help people out with. So essentially, it's like in a place, for example, LA, if I move to LA currently, I can't buy a house because it's insanely expensive. And how is that set up? Because the people who are here first have it in the system that they just have these things that are worth a ton of money, aka houses. So if you come along, your best bet is to go somewhere new, set up a house, set up a business, and when that develops, you will now be rich. That is the way that has been told. That is the way that people have made money. You go to, for us, go to Arizona, buy a house in Arizona. When it goes up by $200,000, sell it. Then you can get something here. That is the way it works. The problem is, y'all, we have climate change, so there ain't nowhere where you can go anymore. So what do you do now? Now the system's broken. And that is what you see now. And what I'm trying to say is the only where to go is essentially different countries. So then you spread this car-centric capitalism around that they're entrenched in, almost like it's like a different way to colonize somewhere. You're colonizing them through transportation. Not
Berlin wasn't having it with that road, though. I read that article. I was like,
shout out Berlin. Right now they're protesting a highway because it's stupid.
Shout out to Berlin.
Yeah. But anyway, so what I'm trying to say, though, is that because we exploited it, people now literally can't do anything, and they're just enshackled by our system of capitalism. So that's what I mean by car-centric capitalism. Just imagine a world, and sound very illuminating right here, where you can walk outside your house, get on any kind of vehicle. I'm not going to say any vehicle, it can be anything, and you can end up at your location without having to deal with the stress of driving.
Can I tell you something? Can I be honest?
Yeah.
This is gonna sound crazy, but
what?
My biggest fantasy, I want a carbon-free jetpack. I want a
hydrogen.
I want a fucking jetpack. I want to fly, maybe a flying saucer. I don't know, or maybe one of those things that I just hang on and it
Shout out to UFOs.
Shout out to the UFOs. Shout out to Congress.
It's just wild. It's just wild. Yeah. No, but dude, yeah, I know I've been going on a rant here. I'll end
ladies and gentlemen, Rowan has been studying this stuff, researching it for a very, very long time.
It just shackles you, dude.
He has a master's degree, huh?
Yeah, it just shackles you in poverty.
It does. It really does shackle you. I'm actually, I'm moving to Europe next year. Whoop, whoop. I'm selling my car before I go. I was going to bring it over there, but I'm I kind of just want to experience a carless lifestyle just for a bit, but I know that I'm not going to need it as much, and also never ever going into debt over a car again.
Well also I guess you saying that makes me think, when I say about not living a carless lifestyle, if you live in the suburbs, or if you live in a place where literally your only way to get around, you're listening to us this guy's fucking mental, how else am I going to get anywhere? Think about it. It's called car-centric capitalism. Because of the car, they have made housing where literally you cannot access your house in a safe, in a safe and convenient manner without having a car. You are literally dependent on a car to live.
Yeah.
Just put that in your head right here. I don't know. I'm not saying you should drop your car. This is more for essentially the end goal here is, I'm not going to explain it fully in detail, so I'm sorry because this is a big thought leap. But if we want to save the planet, we need to have dense cities and rural places. The suburbs have to die.
Wow. Just
putting it out there. So we can explain that in a different episode. But these suburbs, if you care about the environment and you want, the global temperature to not increase by 1.5 degrees Celsius, which it probably already is going to, we need to kill the suburbs. And killing the suburbs means killing car reliance. And that's a very hard task. So that's why we're just here talking about it, because I don't know.
Even electric cars?
Electric cars, okay. Where do you get the electricity from, first off?
It comes from the battery, which comes from these mines and caves in Africa. No, I know about all that.
Not even that. Where do you get the actual electricity from?
Yeah, from the
oil. You burn oil. It's more efficient than burning car oil, but you're still burning oil. So yeah,
somebody's got to burn.
But I guess my thing too is traffic is a big thing that I think people don't think about. So I hear people be like, "Oh yeah, I drive an hour to work one way," and I'm just like, "What? That means 14 hours a week you waste." If you have a 1 hour drive, 14 hours a week you waste.
Yeah, it's 14 hours of your life
week,
gone.
and then it's 52 weeks. Do the math, people. Do the math. How much of your time is spent in your car? And people justify that like, oh yeah, that's why I got a Mercedes Benz. Can I tell you something crazy? 98% of a car's life is sitting unused.
Yeah.
So you trying to talk to me about spending $120K on a car and like I should be thinking that's cool? I think you're an idiot. Like what else you paying $120K for? You use 2% of its life. Like for reals. What have you bought that you use 2% of the time? Like I even a TV you use more often than a car. Like think about that though, for reals. Like for reals.
I don't want you to get mad at me, bro, but I'm gonna have a hybrid truck when I get my. But like it's gonna be like in the countryside. But I don't know, man.
That's what I'm saying. Countryside is different because you need it. I'm saying like like
city life,
dense life,
city boys,
city life,
city
life. If you currently live in a place where you can't live a car-free lifestyle, I feel like you should just rue the world for making your life like that. And what we were saying earlier about the Ford and all the Detroit people. If y'all don't know the story of LA, we used to have one of the best railway systems in the world.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, like in terms of it's tons of tracks.
This podcast is deeply educational.
Oh, it's super educational because that's people need to know about it.
I think I should
what
when I upload it to Spotify, I'll change it to education because I put relationships, but I think I'm just gonna make it more educational.
Education, we educate. Yeah. Hey, BTB real talk, bro.
BTB real talk, baby.
What I was saying though is that fucking Ford and all these other places, they literally ripped out the streetcars. So like. We could see, I remember I used to live in San Diego. There was one way you could go from OB to downtown. 15 minutes in a streetcar in 1920. Because I saw like the little advertisement they had back in the day. Mm-hmm. You can't do that now. Like you can do it without traffic. But it takes you 15 minutes in a car to get there. And then you got to park. Wow. We haven't even talked about parking. Yeah. Oh, man. Okay. I'm going to stop ranting because I've been talking a lot. And Jaywalk needs to say his thoughts. But last thing I'll say. In the 40s, white flight happened. White people with money left the cities. What do people who own the land in the cities do? Do they sell their land? No. Do they want to pay taxes on their land? No.
They pimp that motherfucker out.
So what do? They put a fucking surface street parking lot. Those shits were called taxpayers back in the day because you pay your taxes with them. Why do all downtown look ugly? Because there's parking lots everywhere. Why are there parking lots everywhere? Because people moved out the city because of cars. You get what I'm saying? Like you start thinking about it and just like everything that you think looks ugly makes sense.
You know what's interesting? I want to tie this back into how Dubai has become like a mecca now. When I researched it and really looked at the urban planning, they planned for that city. You know what I mean? It's like people sat down, methodically said, okay, this is how we're going to set all this up. And that's why the city's able to function so well. But when you look at places like LA, it's like they planned for this, but they didn't plan for this. And it was like that there wasn't one cohesive vision for the entire city. And it's very, very apparent now when you're driving from one place into the next and it looks like shit when you go to downtown. Now, I know Dubai is a place for millionaires and the ultra rich. I know that. But I'm just saying in terms of how people get around there, access to new modern housing. It's just like a new modern city. Saudi Arabia is also on the come up. Yeah. Have you been paying attention to what they're doing over there?
The line.
That looks like some shit out of like a Blade Runner movie.
That's gonna be.
Yeah.
That shit will be so crazy.
We gotta go.
Oh no, that shit will be so crazy that the rest of the world will look stupid.
Yes.
Because everyone will be like, wait, so I can just walk out of my house and go to the grocery store and be back at my house in 15 minutes? Mm-hmm. Oh, I can go to somewhere 8 miles away in like 5 minutes? What?
That's amazing.
It's called teleportation, baby. It already exists. It's called trains. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm sorry. Anyway, going back to what you said about Dubai, though, I've actually been there. The big thing how cars work there, though, is because it's literally was a desert city, like Jay was talking about, and like it was not huge, not developed at all. Also, fucking, like again, it's a desert. Like, so when I was there, you go outside the main strip and it's just desert. Like, you have infinite space to grow. Yeah, we do not have that in Los Angeles.
Not even close.
It's what I was saying earlier. Like what I was saying earlier, though, it hasn't been built yet. So they're telling you go there before it's built. It's being built, and there's not enough people there. To be honest with you, I think Dubai in 20 years, they keep spreading out like they are. They're gonna have terrible traffic as well. Terrible traffic as well.
That'll be interesting.
It's just like we haven't seen that many people move there because no one be trying to move to Dubai. Like,
well,
that.
I mean, it's a tax safe haven for the ultra rich. I don't think working class people are going to flock to Dubai.
Just putting it out there because I've been there. They low-key be having migrant workers there that are in buses with like fucking bars. It'd be looking like some slavery shit. Oh yeah, it's not like crazy. It's the ultra rich live there, yes, but like it's run by migrants from like Southeast Asia. Like Indians, Bangladeshi people.
Dude, I was talking to my homie in
Sri Lankan,
Croatia, and it's kind of like all of these countries are having similar issues where they're outsourcing their work to like a lot of these migrants, and because they can pay them like
dirt
cheap,
nothing,
and the people who live there get fucked over because they're like, why can't you just pay us more or keep the cost of living down, and there's no checks and balances for that. Well, so it's like
that leads me to the next point. I love that you're saying this because another point. So the cars do. When you get in your car, you don't have to interact with the rest of society because you are in your own vehicle.
You're in your own silo.
You literally go from your house to your car to your job to your car to your house. You don't have to interact with anyone. You don't have to. What does that mean? These people be completely out of touch. Because they don't have to be in touch with you. I could be rich as fuck, live in Pacific Palisades, go to my set, shoot my set, go back to my house in the Pacific Palisades. Do I give a fuck about the set designer? Hell no. Do I even need to know their name? Hell no.
No.
Like, I'm never going to run into them.
No.
Ever.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's definitely, it's, being in a car is, it's romanticized.
Isolating.
That too, but we've romanticized the silo and the experience of being in your car.
Well, we just romanticize the silo being siloed. I think the U.S.
It's
your own house with your own appliances, with your own. You have to own everything yourself. You can't share anything. Why? Because you need to be able to be your own self. Like you can independently function. It's like feudal system, like the medieval times, but as a person.
Yeah.
Think about it. It's literally they've turned the feudal system inward.
Yeah.
So people are their own feudal systems right now. You know what happened to that? The Renaissance, bitch, huh?
Honestly, if there was a time that I could visit, bro, it would be.
Well, we would be fucked because we're black. So
No. We think about it. We probably wouldn't be in these bodies. Who knows?
We would have to change bodies
or ethnicities we'd be in.
Okay.
But I would definitely pick like 1492 Florence or Venice. I'd be a painter, man. The parties, bro. The parties during the Italian Renaissance,
bro. Yeah,
must have been so much fun.
People throwing shit out the window, literally.
I know, but it's like a beautiful, controlled chaos. I don't know. I played a lot of Assassin's Creed 2.
This guy be delusional right now.
For those of you who've played Assassin's Creed 2, it was like a mesmerizing experience, and I thought, playing that game is like it's really accurate to how life was during.
Yeah, except you don't have to shit or eat in the game. So
or
but take showers.
If you've figured out a way to survive and not be covered in dog shit all day, it still would have been like. Think about it. No social media. Like, people are always having to interact. Horses and whatever the fuck.
Wait, can we talk about a thing, though? What? I saw today. I was running today.
What?
Very Californian experience. I don't know your experience with this. People be going to their cars and getting high in their cars.
Oh, totally.
And then watch videos.
Yeah.
So like, not only are you in your car not moving. Like you are sitting in it you're using your car as a space, first off, which is wild to me because you have a house and there's also other spaces. But then you're smoking weed in your car to then go on social media.
Yeah.
So like.
Yeah, it's like.
So you're plugging into the Matrix twice.
Plugging into the Matrix.
Twice though, not once, twice.
Yeah. Well, but.
You're just like, the Matrix.
Well, it's like
wild.
Has everyday life become that
you're just escaping
monotonous to the point where that's like your escape because
you're escaping.
Like you're not happy with reality.
No.
And, you know, I'm not saying that's necessarily bad, but if you're unhappy with your current situation, you should be working every day to try and change that.
Bros to bros, real talk.
Yeah, no, like, and that's a process, and that might take years, but it's still important, man or woman, that you put in that work every single day, because the only thing worse than hell is being stuck someplace you don't want to be with people who you don't want to be around.
Like what could be worse than that?
I mean, like if we're talking from what the depiction of the Bible is, it's a lake of fire where you just burn for eternity.
Yeah, I know that, but
it's like being stuck someplace. I mean, for me at least, that's like a level right above hell.
Yeah, I mean,
you know, because it's like you don't want to be there, but you're forced to be there because like you've got anchors.
Yeah,
and I don't want to say having family somewhere is bad, but maybe you have someone there who you have to take care of, or like a car, or like a debt that's keeping you stuck, so you don't have that freedom to do that exploration. You know, just imagine, y'all. If you don't have a car payment, what you could do with that money? Yeah. Seriously. If you didn't have to pay for gas every week, what could you do with that money? And guys, when you travel, you learn a lot about yourself.
Facts.
You learn so much about yourself when you travel, especially alone. Ladies, I don't recommend you all travel alone.
Unless it's Europe. I thought you do Europe.
Parts of Europe, but still just be careful. I had a girl at work go off on me because she was like, I can't travel alone because I'm a girl. And I was like, well, I've met plenty of girls in Europe who travel alone.
You could definitely travel alone.
Yeah, like I know it's not the safest thing, but if you have like a brother or somebody with some testosterone around.
I mean, I feel like you could do it yourself, just like...
It depends on where you go.
Yeah, just be don't be going to like Saudi Arabia as a woman by yourself. You know what I mean? Like don't be going to like I don't know. Don't go to any sus place. Don't go to like I'm not gonna say sus place. I don't know because I'm not like super knowledgeable about that. But I mean, travel. I guess to wrap it up, because I don't want to go too much. We want to talk about something else too, which is related to this. But essentially, our economic structure. Just think about how the car is at every single step of your life. If you want to get a coffee, you drive to Starbucks. If you want to get food, you even drive like in and out, like straight up. Like think about these things. Like
oh yeah, dude. Like, I mean, one of the things I'm actually excited about is when I do sell my car, I'm going to get all of the subscriptions to like the DoorDashes and stuff, and just get all of my shit sent to my place. I mean, because I don't. It's like the experience of walking and having to get food where I live isn't very pleasant. Yeah. It's different if you're in a city.
Here, like I just walked.
Yeah. Like it's just like a different experience.
For people who don't know, Jwalk, we live in like LA split kind of suburbs, but like LA.
Yeah, I live. Well, I'm not gonna tell y'all niggas where I live because you niggas are sus.
Yeah, they're sus online, bro.
Yeah.
You don't be telling.
But
we ain't stupid, y'all. But I feel you. It's just that's what I'm wrapping up on it. We'll talk about econ more because I feel like it needs to be done. But like, just my master's I do have a master's. One of them is in econ. So
this man is smart as hell.
Yeah, it's just very interesting once you see things type. But anyway, we're gonna segue second part of the podcast. I know we spent probably like literally 40 minutes on that, 30 minutes, a good amount of time on that. So I want to sort of segue to the next topic. It's pretty short because we don't want to bore you with the long episode, but we're going to talk about sort of these strikes that are going on. Hot labor summer, baby. So just before I want the boy Jwalk knows more about some of these, but I'm just going to put it out there. When we say strikes, so this is 2023. This year there has currently been a UPS strike, a railway strike, a medieval strike, a hotel workers strike, a school strike, and the massive Hollywood actors and directors strike. So a lot of people are striking. I'm going to leave you to explain why you think people are striking and sort of the conditions of these strikes. So I'm going to let you go talk about that. What do you think? Why are people striking, Jwalk? Why is there so many strikes?
They're striking for two reasons. One, as you know, the cost of living here in the U.S. is going up significantly, right? It costs more to have a somewhat normal life. Inflation, all these other things.
Used to be $70K.
Used to be $70K. Now it's like what, 120?
I think it's
120,000. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the writers and actors are both afraid and concerned with different things. One of them, they don't want to be replaced by AI, and they both want to renegotiate the terms of their compensation, seeing as how streaming has completely taken over. And back when cable was number one, and that's how everyone used to watch TV, you would get paid residual checks based on how many times your show or your movie was aired, and people were tuning into that. Mm-hmm. Because now with streaming, when those contracts are done, it's just a one-time check, and you only get the residuals when you are a producer on that project. But for writers, they feel as though, rightfully so, that they're being lowballed because they're not getting any sort of residual checks, and they want a piece of the pie. They want a piece of the royalties when it comes to streaming, because when this thing took off, first off, guys, streaming is very unprofitable for a lot of companies. Like
Disney has made money on it.
They have not been able to completely mimic what Netflix has been able to do. Shout out to Netflix. Shout out to Brandon Reich, one of my favorite execs. Shout out to him. They haven't been able to mimic what Netflix has been able to do, because when people saw how much money was making, when I say people, I mean
Wall Street.
Wall Street. They were like, "Oh shit, let's like try and do what they're doing."
Yep.
Once again, not planning for the future, running to the money, and just wanting to just kind of
Car-centric capitalism.
Stuff their face with as many $100 bills as possible.
Car-centric capitalism.
They weren't thinking about in the future how they were going to need to renegotiate some of these contracts with writers.
Car-centric capitalism.
Right? As a writer, I mean, I don't know what the exact percentage is, but I think it's like less than 10% of the people signed with the WGA are actually writing content that people are watching.
That's crazy.
90% of them aren't even actually working.
That's crazy.
Which is the insane part about that.
That's
now,
crazy.
It's even more insane is it's only maybe 1% of people, writers, are really getting paid. That's if you have like a hit show like House of Dragons or like Grey's Anatomy, How to Get Away with Murder. Like, you need like a big hit in order to get those huge checks.
Bro.
And the thing is, LA is so expensive, right? And so you have a lot of these kids coming from liberal arts colleges. Some of them are trust fund babies who want to, live out their dream of being an artist. No shame, no disrespect. We love you for going after what it is you want. But for the rest of the 99% of the population, that is not a sustainable way to build your future. Economically. So econ. So they're protesting because, and I'm gonna wrap this up after this because the camera's about to die. I forgot to charge it. So anytime we have strikes in this nation or in the world, it's because there's an unequal exchange of value.
100%.
Unequal exchange of value, unequal
100%.
exchange of energy. Right? Everything
aren't respected.
People aren't respected, and it's greed. It's not evil.
No.
It's greed. It's fucking greed.
Greedflation.
I don't want to let go of my $40 million check.
Nope. Bonus, not even check.
My bonus, because I don't feel as though you deserve to get paid a little bit more.
Yeah.
I'm not giving up my yacht trips with my hot supermodels to Ibiza.
In Italy. Oh, yeah.
Or Italy.
Lake Como, come on.
I'm not giving up my boat.
No. Hell no.
Super hot 22-year-old Dutch blondes.
Hell yeah.
While my wife is at home complaining
about my 5 kids.
About my 5
that
kids.
Are all in Yale. No,
so that you fuckers can get paid more to write a movie. That's essentially what it really comes down to.
I mean, hey, and honestly, like, yeah, I'm glad that they've been showing themselves like that, because that is what they think. Like,
yeah, that's what they think.
It's, I mean, even the hotel workers. I'm gonna go back to not just Hollywood, but like UPS. Did you know UPS workers don't have air conditioning?
We gotta wrap it up. Let's talk about
real
that.
Quick though, do you know UPS workers do not have air conditioning in their trucks?
Doesn't surprise me.
And people are having heat strokes.
Doesn't surprise me.
And they won't. And they like what the like?
That doesn't shock me, bro.
People are literally dying out here.
This is why people are so angry. It's the selfishness. It is the greed. It's the lack of humanity.
It's you being in your car, isolated, not thinking about the world.
The lack of humanity, y'all.
Car-centric capitalism.
Peace.
I'm sorry to bug you down today.
Love.
Peace out.
BTB podcast.
BTB Real Talk. Education.
Educate.
Relationships.
Y'all. Educate.
Life.
I want y'all to read a book this weekend.
Please. Or read a Time magazine or something.
I want you to not get shit-faced this weekend, and I want you to spend some time with God and pray.
That may be hard for me, but
I need you to pray. Because this is the greatest piece of technology on the planet.
they're here right
Your
here.
body.
Yeah.
Your body. Learn to regulate that. Shout out to the boy.
Self-love.
Sadhguru.
Self-love by
Sadhana.
Mac Homie.
Mac Homie. All right. Peace.
Life isn't right. I'm sick of playing nice. I just don't get what makes you special.